So, what moment do you think most resonates with you as a Liverpool fan? What sticks the most? And kind of paint us the picture of that moment.
Oh, another bloody good question. I think I'd have to answer in different phases of my life, if I'm going to be honest, bro. So, like, sort of from the age of 4, maybe up until like my early teens, I'd probably say the Champions League run in 2005, because I don't think anyone gave us a chance to win it. I certainly didn't think we'd win it. And then as you get deeper into the competition, you're thinking, okay, maybe we can do it. But then you get AC Milan in the final, and you're thinking, I remember looking at AC Milan's team sheet before the
Crazy.
game started, and I just thought, how are we winning this game? Like going into the final, I was like, we're winning the game. I just don't know how. And then when we went 3-0 down, I was watching the game with my brother. My brother's two best friends. One's a Liverpool fan, one's an Arsenal fan. But the Arsenal fans like you, and he's very level-headed, very calm. And he was just like, he literally said, he was like, I did not expect them to blow you out of the water like this. I thought you'd lose, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. But I went upstairs and I went and I think I had a Liverpool blanket at the time, wrapped the Liverpool blanket around me, come back downstairs, and I just said to them, I was like, we're not losing. Obviously, I'm the kid in the room, innit? So they're like, all right, Cal. Like, like okay. And bro, when we come back to 3-3, I just turned to him, I said, there's something just telling me we're not losing today. And then when we won, it was just like, wow, like we weren't meant to win that. And that for me was what, when football really hit me, was like anything can happen in this sport. Usually you have your betting favorites for a reason, but
Yeah.
anything on any day can happen in this sport. And then I'd say as I got older, I'd say Klopp's reign, that really changed how I looked at football and how I looked at Liverpool, because I think under Hodgson, even under Brendan, I think those managers were quite disconnected from the club. Kenny came in for a little bit and galvanized, but Kenny wasn't at his peak when he was Liverpool manager, and was a bit out of sorts as well. And when Klopp came in, I was just like, nah, this is my club now. And you'll I think you'll speak to a lot of Liverpool fans who really got in deep with the Klopp like reign
Yeah.
and era. We became very tribalistic to the point where it's like you can't even speak about Klopp, and like we're at your neck. And like I look at it and I think the power he had to do that, because when we speak about Klopp, it's similar how I think you guys speak about Wenger. Didn't win the most amount of Prems, didn't win the Champions League. Same with Klopp, won a Champions League, won a Prem, but one of each. But what they did to change the philosophy in and around the club and everything, I think is bigger than just their trophy haul. And I think that's what outside fans won't get. Just like Liverpool fans will criticize Wenger for not winning the Champions League, Arsenal fans will criticize Klopp for not winning more Prems. But ultimately, the two fan bases, they love those two members of
Yeah.
the history because of the way they changed everything. So those are the points in my life where I was like, and Liverpool resonates with me as well, because growing up in South London and single parent home, like typically you're told you look like you got a ceiling in it, like this
Yeah.
is your ceiling. Like thankfully I was a good kid growing up, never got into any trouble or anything like that, got good results at school and stuff like that, so I never brought any trouble to my mum's doorstep. But I still knew I was at a disadvantage to some of my friends who had a two-parent home and mum's not working all crazy hours to make ends meet. Liverpool resonated with me because it's like, yeah, they're not the most fashionable club. They're not the club that should be winning stuff, but they are still winning. And that kind of inspired me, especially players like Gerrard as well, when he's surrounded by players who ain't that great, but he's still dragging the team through. So stuff like that inspired me. And yeah, this club's just me, man. I just love the club.
And you know what? I think Liverpool as like I guess an institution
Mm,
is very much all about banding together. Like it's
mm,
very much about us versus the world. Like even to the degree where it's like, yeah, when it comes to England playing, it's like, yeah, we're not English, we're Scouse. Like, and I feel like with that kind of strong of a message and that kind of deep of a bond that the city has with its
mm,
club, I think it's very easy for people not from Liverpool to buy into that because it translates very well. Because
Yeah.
even if you just think of like, if you just think of football commentary, it's kind of like, right, definitely, if I feel this way, it feels like it's me against the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels like it's always me against the world. Like whether it's the people in like the chat that think I'm chatting rubbish, or the people on panels that are like they support rivals, so it's like they're
Yeah.
always going against what I'm saying. Like it always feels like us against it. And I feel like I would say with Arsenal, it's not as evident
Mm.
because it's not as clear as it is with Liverpool, with Arsenal, because obviously we're in the heart of England. We're in the capital, but
Yeah.
there is kind of that thing with Arsenal where it's like, oh, you South Londoners, you moved over to North London. You're not even
Yeah.
from here. You're not originally from here. And obviously you got the Tottenham fans that, tried to pretend that they was in North London before
Mm.
Arsenal. But I know
Yeah.
the history, and I
Yeah.
know that they weren't actually technically part of North London until after Arsenal. But that's a conversation for another day. That's a
Yeah.
conversation
But
for another day.
that's it. That's similar with Liverpool and Everton, right? Because Liverpool hasn't been around as long. Everton's the older club, and Liverpool started because there was fractions within Everton, and then Liverpool branched off from Everton. So we get that from Evertonians as well. We're like, they're called the People's Club, whereas
So,
Liverpool aren't called that. So that's where there are, the thing is, as much as Liverpool and Arsenal are at each other's necks and all that, there are a lot of similarities between the two clubs when you actually break it down.
a lot of similarity. And you know what? To be like, don't get me wrong. There's obviously been moments in the history where
Mm.
for example, we won the league at Anfield. There's
Thanks for that, bro.
yeah. Just had to remind you.
Quick flex. I see.
There's been times we've met in like domestic cup competitions, and it's gone
Yeah.
one way or another, and it's been kind of a big thing. But I feel like, me personally, I don't consider Liverpool a rival,
Mm.
because I feel like whenever Arsenal have been high flying, Liverpool have been down bad. And
Mm.
whenever Liverpool have been high flying, Arsenal have been down bad. So we've never really had the opportunity to clash when both of us are kind of like at the peak of our powers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even now, when you think about it, like even me, myself included, I expected Arsenal to go into this season high flying, but we're not
Same.
high flying. But now Liverpool are high flying, and I didn't expect Liverpool to be high. So
Yeah.
even now, when like you're high flying, it's like Arsenal's back on the dip again. It's like there's something in the world that just doesn't allow,
Yeah.
us two members of the Red Cartel to be kind of big at the
Yeah.
same time. So yeah. So I guess that's just my kind of perspective
No, I
on, because I
agree.
know like I troll a lot of Liverpool fans, but that's only because like, well, at least the Liverpool fans that I know,
Yeah.
they talk a lot. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're very
Yeah.
loud. Obviously,
That's
you
like,
got a lot of heritage.
it's
The
like
heritage.
Lee, bro. Lee will tell you I'm always trolling Lee. Like Gooner Lee, I'm always trolling Gooner Lee. But Lee will tell you as well, he's always trolling me. So it's like there is that in the fan base. Like me personally, I see Arsenal as a competitive rival, but not like a Man United or
Yeah,
someone like that. Because look, as much as the fan base can be crazy, as you pointed out as well, I also know some of the Liverpool fan base can be crazy as well. So it's like I can't just always get the Arsenal fan base, not get the Liverpool fan base sometimes, because we come up with some crazy stuff, myself included. Like as football fans, we do that. So I see you as a competitive rival, like you said, but not like I can walk to the Emirates and not feel like I touch wood. I don't think anyone would be like, oh, there's that Callum guy, get him. Like, whereas if
yeah.
I went to Man United, it could be very different. Yeah. Could be
And
very different.
before I move on to the next question, just like because you kind of made the comment where you was like, I don't feel like we was meant to win that Champions League final against AC Milan,
Mm.
but this is why I think perspectives is very important, especially in life. Like different viewpoints is a very important thing. Like
Yeah.
I would argue the the manner in which you won that game, to me, means that you was destined to win that,
Yeah, yeah,
because that was a very difficult situation to turn over. Like, and AC Milan, it's not like the AC Milan of today. Like it was like that AC Milan was different completely
Crazy.
different gravy. And for you guys to come from behind, was it a 2-0?
Free.
Was it 2? 3.
3-0.
So for you guys to come back from 3 goals down to lift the Champions League,
Yeah.
I think you could even argue that might even be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Champions League final that we've ever witnessed
Yeah. I think
in
it
our
is.
lifetime. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, obviously, not to try like blow smoke up Liverpool fans' asses, but it is what it is. Like, I can't recall another Champions League final where, you know, probably 99% of people are already thinking about how they're going to be trolling the Liverpool fans that they know the next day, and then Liverpool just go. And I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's something that the manager said, or maybe it's something that, you know, on the pitch, the players, like, they came back and they're like, no, like, we're winning. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something in the stars. Maybe it's something mystical. I don't know. But you guys overturned that, and for me, that's just proof that you was always going to win that final.
I agree. I agree. We were definitely destined to, but when I look at how the two teams were and everything, when I say I don't think we're meant to, in terms of on paper, we weren't meant to. But I remember even reading at the time back in 2005, there were so many coincidences that were so similar to when we had last won the Champions League. That's probably why I believed it so much. But I also knew at the same time, like, if we beat this AC Milan, it would be crazy as well. But yeah, that I'll never forget that night. Never in my life.
I need one of those nights. Like,
yeah, you do. It still baffles me how Arsenal haven't done it yet.
The refs, that Barcelona, we got robbed. I'm not gonna go into it. That Champions League final against Barcelona,